Hello, everyone. I'm going to be reacting to or analyzing the rise of ALEXEY VOEVODA by Global Arm Wrestling. I would go over the history of ALEXEY VOEVODA, but I imagine the 5 or 6 people that will watch this will already know about ALEXEY VOEVODA. They'll just want to see me pointing out everything I see with his techniques and his style. Um, I haven't looked too much into him personally, but he is one of my favorite arm wrestlers. Just because back in his heyday, he was huge in size and in popularity. So let's start here. All right, he did that almost every time before he went into a match. That right there, that's just overpower. Uh, Alexei just has way too much power, way too much strength. The other guy couldn't do anything. Uh, Way too much experience. Um, to be honest, Alexei could have used the minimum amount of technique there and still would have won just because he would have overpowered him. I mean, arm wrestling is a strength sport. Uh, a lot of people, there's a lot of technique in it, obviously, but you shouldn't forget that it is a strength sport and that strength comes in handy more often than not when it comes to the sport. Again, well, there's something interesting to point out here too. If you're just getting into arm wrestling and you don't know that much about it, um, here, jeez, right there. I don't know if you saw it, but let's see if I can stop it. Oopsie daisies. See, see his wrist right there. That's from the cup impersonation. What I'm guessing is Alexei Vovidi is well, I know he's very powerful in the cup and in the pronation. There's different muscles that you acquire the more you arm wrestle and the more you train. There's specific muscles that help in that. And when Alexei couldn't just drive him down with side pressure, he's like, okay, well, I'll just take his hand away. And then he was able to cup and pronate to where he's. If I was him, if I was Alexei's opponent, I would have just quit because there's nothing you can do from there, especially against Alexei. He's got the crop pronation, everything is perfect. Getting the grip set up. Going to slow mo for me. Textbook. It's like a textbook high hook top roll. Nothing specific, just getting that the pronation in that cup. Another textbook strap. Bringing his arm towards him. Bringing the opponent's arm towards his side of the table. As you can see, he did that as well. Ooh, that was very interesting. That guy looked like he just stepped out of a bar. Wow, strong. Okay, so another interesting thing to point out here is that in this position, when your arm is away from your bicep like that, it's a losing position, um, and you're relying on your bicep muscle to hold pretty much the entire. Cause as you can tell, they're using their entire body, so you're relying on the bicep to hold the other person's entire body. And as you can see here, he's got Alexei's got the cup, but this dude has some long fingers. He has some long fingers. So he can combat that pronation that Alexei would give, or the cup if he has strong fingers and a strong wrist. He can combat that so that way he can't just give his hand and wrist away. Um, and if he didn't have such a strong bicep, he would have lost. Because look at how close Alexei's arms is to his bicep. Elbow foul. That wasn't called on the opponent. Right there. Right there. Those were two really big elbow fouls that weren't called, that probably should have been called, but early 2000s, whatever. Alexey saw that and he called it out, of course. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, this guy is Travis Bagent. He's still an active arm wrestler, kind of. And he's, around this time, he was the best in the world. 2003, 4, 5. He, at least in the top three. Uh, he, just a monster in drive. One of the best top rollers to ever do it. Makes quick work of Evita. But as you can see, look at how Alexey's shoulders are lined up, how they're straight. That's, how they're supposed to be in a match where the ref is supposed to square the shoulders up to make sure there's no advantage on the usable arm. And look at where his shoulder is, Travis's. Vast difference. Vast difference. Sometimes for me, arm wrestling is really hard to watch. Really hard to watch because some of the refs can be just so incompetent. I mean, I've never been a ref, so I guess I can't speak that much, but I mean, it just can get ridiculous sometimes. However, in the practices I go to, I've heard that a lot of people do a lot of little movements with their shoulder and with their wrist, and right before the ref says go, they, maybe they would cup a little bit, or, do this, try to get the wrist if they're used to hook. But this is just super extreme, especially when you have something as a tournament as important as this. Regardless of the start, Travis does here. Like I said, one of the best top rollers. As you can see, top rolling right there. Already at the very start, separating the arm and the forearm. Again. I believe, yeah, this was 2004, I believe. Alexey. And just complete domination. It's complete domination. Like, insane. Look at that. Travis, I guess he thought that, like, he was going to get the jump on Alexey, but Alexey just held him there. And, so that's super... I want to say it's a disrespectful move by Bagent, because he immediately put his back pressure into it, and he thought, like he did last year, his back pressure and then bringing his arm over, but Alexey just wasn't having any of it. You can tell that he trained specifically to fight that. Alexey was huge. Complete domination by Alexey. Uh, guys, the guy's looking for a press. It's not going to happen. Alexey's way too huge. He's way too strong. It's not even a right flop wrist press because Alexey's got complete control of the hand, and it's not. If you look at Jerry Caderet, Big Daddy, his flop wrist is so perfect. It's like an art. Compare that to what he's trying to do, because I think he didn't mean to give away his hand at the start, but it just kind of happened, and he tried to work with it with a press, but it's not going to happen with Alexey. Then Alexey goes for the press. They gotta bolt those arm wrestling tables down. They do some of them, but not all of them. Like, I think Wall bolts theirs down. Okay, Alexey, yep, went for a hook. I think Alexey realized, okay, I'm stronger than him, and if I go for a hook, yeah. I think this is where I stopped the video the first time I watched it after this. Of course, Bajan just drives. And Bajan in a strap is insane, especially left hand. As I stated before, one of the best in the world. And a lot of people, well, I guess they do know this. A short time after, I think it was after 2000, I think it was 2007 or after 2007, to where Alexey went back to bobsledding, which is what he won an Olympic medal in. Oh, okay. I'm assuming the same thing's gonna happen. Bajan just gonna overpower, over top roll. Yep. Alexey's very humble too. He knew he lost. Is that Michael? Is that Michael Todd? All right, let's see that again. Can hardly see the grip because of the quality. Again, that's just overwhelming power. Not really much technique. Just hook. Get his arm on my side of the table. Just being completely overpowered. Michael Todd can't do anything about it. He's a great arm wrestler. I still think Todd is a great arm wrestler, even though there's a lot of controversy surrounding him. It's just that he's a cheater. Complete domination by Alexey. Before Todd learned of the King move, he learned of the lose to Russians move, as you can see here. Tries to go in a hook with Alexey, which, no. A lot of people, Todd is really good at the press, with the press. Whenever he goes to the King's move, sometimes he'll surprise one round with sometimes he'll give a surprise to his opponent with a press, because the opponent will be expecting a King's move, and then when they try to defend the King's move, they get pressed, and then that's a round for Michael Todd. And then they're just like, what? This is one of my favorite matches of all time. Tim Bresnan versus ALEXEY VOEVODA when he came back in 2015. Scream by Bresnan. The Russians like to call him Old Man Bresnan, the strongest old man. I just think it's kind of funny. (2016), my bad, not 2015. There was some controversy surrounding one of the rounds, but that serious look on Tim. Alright, there's a lot of things going on here. With elbow foul and Tim. Elbow foul and, yeah. Alright, so Tim has a weird arm wrestling style. There's nothing quite like it. See a lot of back pressure. A lot of holding. With Tim, he did the same thing to Babiev his second time around. He's really, really, really good at holding. I don't know if it's because he has a strong bicep or a strong hand. From the arm wrestlers I've heard he went up against him, they said he has a really strong hand, and that he has a really strong, really good back pressure. But yeah, as you can see, it looks like Alexey is getting that hand control, hand position, but he just can't do the pin, just because Tim is so strong there. You can see there too how he used Alexei trying to go up and drive again to bring his hand towards him and to go for the attack because he was just defending. And then as soon as Alexei goes up to press again, he goes, "All right, I can attack now." Because this isn't really taxing that much for Tim. You can tell that he's comfortable holding Alexei there until he can attack, gassing his opponent. That was a bit of an early start by Tim. Yeah. Ref was like, yeah, yeah. Goes in the straps. Elbow foul. Yeah, regular stuff. Whoa. Alright. Tim again holding Alexei. Tim is really bad with elbow fouls because of the way he arm wrestles. I love the confidence in Tim though. His side pressures, and it's like the heavyweight version of Hutchings' side pressure, pretty much. His side pressure is insane. And for those of you who don't know, this sort of put Tim Breslin on the map. He was a world-class arm wrestler before, but he wasn't really in the spotlight. You know, like Levon or Krasimir or Devin Larratt or, you know, like Todd Hutchings. You know, he's middleweight, but, you know, just using as a reference in the spotlight. As you can see, Tim is slowly gaining hand control here, because as he goes in a hook, he's getting that hand control, and then you can see him do this, like this, to get the fingers. That way he can get control of the hands and the fingers, and then make the wrist unusable, pretty much. Right there. Look at his footwork too. He did great with his footwork. Using leverage where he needs it. Fantastic side pressure. Okay, both of their shoulders aren't straight. Neither of their shoulders are straight. Easy work for Tim. Way too powerful. I think this is the one where Alexei thinks he says he saw an elbow foul, but there's no elbow foul. I didn't see it. Oh yeah, okay. There was a small elbow foul there. See, sometimes referees can be a little picky. I think that's Ryan Hart. I think that's the name of this referee. But they can be picky sometimes, and sometimes they can't. It really depends. Just a replay. Easy work for Tim. If it's not easy work, then it looks like easy work. But I did not see an elbow foul. Apparently Alexei did. This is becoming a whole big thing. I think Alexei stopped the match for like 10 minutes, complaining that there was an elbow foul. But I mean his elbow's still on the pad. It's barely there, but it's still on the pad. I don't see an elbow foul. I mean, if that's an elbow foul, then as a smart man once said, Michael Todd's entire match is an elbow foul. Elbow, elbow. He goes crazy over that elbow. Squaring the shoulders. I think Tim realizes that he can withstand Alexey's power. That Alexey doesn't have anything on him. Again, really good at holding that there. Of course, if I was fighting against Tim Bresnan, and I was nearly as good as him, and I got in that position, I would be the, I would be the angriest man in the world. Like, why, you were an inch away from the pad. Of course, big win for Tim Bresnan. Put him on the map. No one really cared about him, even though he was really good, until he beat ALEXEY VOEVODA. Very emotional for him. Tried his heart out. Got himself in the top 8 now. Beat Babiev. I think he beat Cordocha too. Lost against Trubin. Okay, just a review. Alright. Thank you for watching. And hope you have a good day.